Hey, fellow travelers, Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're just having a nice little travel chat here on this beautiful Friday. It is a great day outside. It's only hot and not hot and humid and making you want to die. So that is a plus. So I'm going to head out in the afternoon, but I thought we'd hop on here to answer some of your travel questions if you have any when you're here. And we're on our shorts channel just to have something a little bit different. I know our main channel where we just hit 899,000 subs, so we'll be at 900,000 subs. Hopefully either on Sunday or Monday. I'll try to do a live on our main channel when we're getting really close to it, so we can do the live tracker and stuff like that. So let's hope we can get that set up. But knowing our luck, it'll be like at 3:00 in the morning. But then our friends in Australia and New Zealand will finally get to be part of something live versus like in bedtime. So hopefully we'll have something for that. But that's cool. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's hopping on. Please hit that like button so the Walter's World Shorts channel can get a few more views and some more subs, because this channel that we're watching this on, this is what we're going to be doing. When we travel, we'll do live walks around towns. It's where we have our shorts videos, so like little short travel advice videos, things that aren't worth a 10-minute video, just short little things. That's going to be on here, so you can do that. So hopefully you all can sign up and then join up. So I don't know, I just blew my nose and now my ears are all wonky. You get that feeling? Anyway, some news. The ETIAS visa waiver system. I love how they're like, it's not a visa. I'm like, well, it's a visa waiver, but it's in the name. Anyway, that has been postponed till November of 2023. The video is getting edited and it's got to go back again because now it's November 2023. So I'm going to actually have the video will say, so it's been changed a number of times. It may change again. As of publication of the video is November of 2023 when you have to get that ETIAS visa there's 63 countries right now that have to get it in order to go to the Schengen countries in Europe. So whether it's from the UK, the US, Canada, you're going to have to fill it out. So just give it, I think Canada's on there. I'll check to make sure, but it's my brain is echoing with the stuff. So yeah. Anyway, hold on. I'm gonna blow my nose. So that made that up. That it didn't help. Just made it worse. That up there was not actually a perfect rectangle. This up here is This is a wrestling belt for the world's. To the best dad ever. Dad is cool. I love dad. That is a belt that I used to be able to fit into back in the day that Caleb made for me when he was probably 7 years old. I don't know if he feels that same way now. It's 15, almost 16, but at least back then he loved me. So I had Jocelyn frame this a few years ago to put on the wall, just so happy with my other awards for a couple here for teaching. There's the YouTube 100,000 play button. Hopefully, eventually, we'll get the million play button will be up there, and hopefully our other channels can get up there and get some silver play buttons. So we have that. Professor Walters is almost at 20,000 subs, so that's cool. So we're getting there. Thank you, Liz. Hey, Scorpio Sue, good to see you who's there, that you're up on here. Catherine Lay, glad to have you on here. Lewis is heading to LA for the first time in November. How's LA's restrictions at the moment? There's not really too many things going on, Lewis. You should be fine. They do have, I think there are still occasionally some venues like event centers might ask for masks, but overall it's pretty chilled out there. So, okay, this is actually a good one. Kaki wants to know, can you define what Schengen countries are? So the Schengen Agreement is a free movement of people agreement within Europe. And it's not every country in the European Union that does it. That's why when you went to the UK, you would get different stamps than it went into the European Union. And basically, you're looking at places like Italy, Germany, France, Lithuania, Poland, Vatican City. Actually, I can put it down. Hold on. I have it on one of my things here where I actually put down all the countries where you'll have to do it. And I actually put a little ticker tape here on the bottom, but I've got to get to it first. So, I'll just put this on the bottom of here. That'll let you know what you need to do or which countries you're required to do it. Oh man, it won't let me do enough stuff. Okay. Never mind. My banner system doesn't let me put it all up on there, but I'll read them off to you. The countries where you need to get it: Austria, Andorra, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Italy, Latvia, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Monaco, Netherlands, Norway, Romania, San Marino, Spain, Slovakia, Slovenia, Sweden, Switzerland, Poland, Portugal, Vatican City. So you're looking at pretty much all the European Union except for Ireland at the moment. Okay, because Ireland was never part of the Schengen agreement. That's why you always had different passport or different stamps there too. So you have that, and basically what it is. That's why you could have the free movement. That's why there's not the border checks when you're taking the train from Italy into France or France into Switzerland, and not every country that's in the Schengen zone is actually in the European Union. So that's kind of an interesting thing. And that's why it's important to distinguish between there's the European Union, which is a political government, there's the Euro, which is a financial union, and then there's the Schengen agreement, which is a person movement agreement. Different like 80% of the time it's the same people, same countries that are there, but there's some movement and changes that are there. So hopefully that can help explain it to you a little bit better. Lewis asks, Delta and Spirit domestic flights looking okay right now. I don't know about Spirit because I do not fly them. Delta's been doing okay. I mean, there has been issues with a lot of airlines lately, but I mean, now that we're seeing the big deluge of summer travel and all the revenge travel that we're talking about, which still is not up to 2019 numbers, okay, but it's getting closer. You're seeing less of those. There still are delays and there still are cancellations. They make good stories. That's why on the weekends there's always stuff saying, "Oh, another 400 flights delayed, and 850 flights are canceled," and stuff for different airlines. But it is getting better. There still are some issues. Like I still recommend through early fall and for this holiday season when you're traveling, do make sure you're trying to do carry-on as much as you can. Just because the baggage claim they haven't been able to baggage and other things, they still haven't been able to hire everybody they need to yet. Like just like every business, they're trying to find people to come in to hire up, and it's hard to get them. And Europe has said that they don't expect all of those. Well, the analysts have said for the European airports, they still expect to have some issues with that next summer too. So that probably means when you get the Christmas season, when the people are traveling, then there'll probably be some headaches then as well. So do have a heads up for that. Okay. In the US, it's been much better with that. Like I'm not too worried. Actually, I actually got a Samsung tag, an air tag, and a tiled tracker that I'm going to put all three of them in my bag. And I'm going to be flying to San Antonio to see how they all track and how they all work. So we'll see how that goes. Just so we can compare. I'm not gonna have three different bags. They're all gonna be in the same bag, so that's kind of like, well, let's see how they all work and how the directional things are. If it tells me where things are, and if it's lost, I got 3 chances for them to find us. So something to think about. Hey, Bubba, good to see you on here. Lori, nice to have you as well. Catherine, been watching your videos for years. Love all your tips. Thank you very much. Your videos give me the confidence to travel without fear by myself, and I hope to continue to inspire me. Oh, thank you, Catherine. That's really nice of you. Thank you. That's what I try to do on these videos. Like, we get requests. Actually, I had another one today. It was like, hey, Mark, would you be interested in running a tour and being a tour guide for this PM? Bring your fans with you. And I'm like, that would be fun to do. But our whole premise is to give people the skills so they can travel on their own. So they don't need a guide. They don't need a travel agent and stuff. So that's why one of those reasons why it's like, it doesn't really fit with what I'm trying to get done. Because you, Catherine, are exactly what I hope for in people, is to help people so they feel confident enough to travel on their own. So that's awesome. Thank you. Alan, would you consider a crossbody bag a good pickpocket proof bag for men? Yes, that is probably a better one. One thing I see a lot is the backpacks on your back or anything in your back. When you're in an escalator, it's so easy because you're moving anyway, so you don't notice the little jostling on public transportation. You don't notice that little jostling of it, and people will just lightly unzip it, reach out. I mean, I've caught people robbing people next to me, all busy. I'm just looking at the guy. I'm like, dude, what the hell? He like puts the wallet back, zips it back up, and then jumps over and runs. You're like, you got to make sure you're paying attention. It's not just paying attention; it's also putting your stuff in the right position. Like I will never ride a metro or anything without having my wallet in my front pocket if I don't have a money belt or something like that. And if you have the crossbody, make sure when you're in, put that crossbody in front of your tum-tum when you're on places just so you can have it there. So let's see. Marielle, I just got AirTags too, Mark. I left my backpack in the car when I went to the grocery store, and it emailed me to let me know I left my bag behind. That's cool. And that's the thing is you can set those things up for that. I will say if you have an iPhone, get the AirTags. If you don't have an iPhone, then look at a Samsung tag or the Tile, just because Apple is Apple and it really works well with Apple products. And if you don't have Apple products, then it's kind of a pain. That's what I've learned so far, okay, because with my stuff. But I'll be working with those to give you an idea of which ones I think are best. Because the thing is, you have to realize is all those trackers, they don't use GPS. What they're doing is they're using other users. I know for the iPhone or the AirTag and the Samsung tag, what it is they are connecting to other Samsung devices and Galaxy devices or whatever. And the iPhones are connecting, the AirTags are connected to their iPhones. So if there's iPhones around, it's going to get located by that. And if it's a Samsung one, they'll get located by that. So if you're going someplace where iPhones aren't very popular, then there's not going to be as many chances that signal is going to go by. That's why they say the distance. Oh, it's 200 feet, 400 feet. That's how far that signal goes out to like get connected. So that's something to kind of think about. So I know there's some places AirTags won't be as good, or like in the U.S., I'm going to guess the Samsung one is not as going to be as accurate as the iPhone one because there's so many more iPhones in the U.S. So there is that. It was a text, not an email. Totally fine. Let's see. How many languages are you conversational in, Mark? Conversational, good tourists. I can get by and feel comfortable and do the small talk. English, Spanish, Portuguese, German, Italian, and basic French, middle French probably. So those are the ones I feel comfortable in. Joss would say I can get by in some Lithuanian. I would put myself in beginner Lithuanian because it's been so long since I was there, but I used to teach in that. And way, 20 years ago, I used to speak some Russian and Finnish, but those have been so long since I use those. Those are all gone. So, man, sometimes things come back to me, but it's been a long time. So, yeah, Mark here from Escape the Empty Nest. I have a backpack that you have to take off to unzip. It's a little inconvenient, but safe. Yeah, and I think that's one thing. Is one thing when you're going out for the day, really consider what do I really need to take with me. So, like, if I know that I'm going to be filming, yeah, I got to take my real camera here, and I put it in my thing. I'm not going to carry this. I'm going to put that in my backpack, which is on my back. But I'm not going to keep my money in there. That's looking in my front pocket or my other things. Where it's days, I'm like, you know what? I don't really feel like I'm going to film anything. I'm like, I'm just going to take my phone and my wallet, and then I don't have the extra bag to worry about or to forget. However, if you're thinking, well, I might pick up some souvenirs, I might get something little. What I might do is like I have these drawstring Walter's World bags that I'll just like put one in my pocket. And so if I do pick something up, I can put it in there and use there. So I still have my hands free when I'm walking around. So there's that. Oh. Utah to Vegas. Oh, for the El Judge show. That's going to be a fun one, Lewis. That's cool. Alan's heading to Rome, Florence, Cinque Terre, Siena, Sorrento, and Pompeii. Nice. In September, the weather will still be really nice in all those places, but the tourist numbers, they won't be zero, okay? But they will be significantly better than they are in July and early August, so that's cool. Okay, so Sue asks, does Train Italia have a written schedule, or is it basically plug and play online? Yeah, plug and play online. And Sue, you can you can do everything on the website. You don't even have to download the app. You can just get on the website and buy your tickets on there, and they'll email the stuff to you. So you just have the QR code there. That's all we did. I never got in line to buy tickets. I did it all on my phone. So you can have that, and you can and here's the thing. So if you book your tickets early, you can get discount prices. And then if you have all your people, like we were getting by booking early and having a kid, we were getting sometimes first class tickets for less than the second class tickets, and like significantly less than the second class tickets if we would have bought it the day of. So that might be something you want to look into soon. But don't get close connections unless it's the Freccias, because the trains in Italy are a bit late. And anytime, and I filmed we had so many issues with the trains in Italy. We actually I made a video on the don'ts of train travel in Italy, which won't. I don't think it'll come out until probably next year. Just because right now the people that are going to Italy for the train travel drops off significantly. Doesn't start up again until May next year, so I'll probably like an May video next year. But yeah, if it's a Euro City, an EC train, it'll be late unless it's starting in Italy. So just be ready for that. Let's see. Mary Ellen asks, so you have a preference in a language app to learn? I'll be in Italy next year. I don't actually have an app that I prefer. We've actually had pretty much every single language app has reached out to us about doing some kind of sponsorship. And here's my feeling on those. If you're going to do it, you will learn something. But what you have to realize is you have to ask yourself, am I going to put in the effort to actually learn the language? Because sometimes it's like, I just want to memorize phrases. Well, if you memorize phrases, you only memorize those answers, those phrases, you're not really speaking the language. You're just a parrot. If you want to make sure you can actually speak, then you need to learn some grammar, you need to learn some more vocabulary words. But for tourists, that's more than you really need. So those apps are really good for people that want to be a tourist. If you want to really learn the language, you need to take a class. You need to get a real book that's built to help you learn for the different levels: A1, A2, 2A, 2B, you know, B1, B2 levels of Italian, and then therefore it can build up, and then you can actually develop your language skills versus just memorizing phrases. Okay, so that's one thing I would say for that. But for tourists, I think a lot of the apps are actually perfectly fine to use. I don't really have one that's better than the other one personally, but I also haven't gone through to use them. Some of the companies that have offered us, they didn't have language I didn't already know. So it's like, it's no point for me to take the, learn Italian app when I already speak Italian. It's like, I needed the language I don't know. So right now I'm actually looking at setting up kind of a sponsorship for a company and looking into Greek, because I know a few words and some stuff, but I don't speak it at all. So I could actually use it and say, okay, did I actually learn Greece? And then I go to Greece and say, okay, this is how it works. So is that. Let's see. Katie, I like Lingota. Yeah, they've reached out to us before too. You call the teachers right there, the NEB. Yeah, that's the thing, is you have that personal interaction, goes a long way. Who was asked, how is the inflation situation with food in LA? It's still expensive like it was before. It's just a little bit more expensive. So there's that. Bobby, place to stay. We always stay in Montmartre, up by Sacré-Cœur in that area. It's funny because if you're like by the Moulin Rouge, it's like, but if you're like a block up the hill from Moulin Rouge and up, then you're okay. If you are just north of the Notre Dame area, there's another, I think it's the 670s one, I think, is okay as well. So those are both fine. But the thing is when you're staying in Paris, the metro is never more than 500 meters away. So you'll be able to get anywhere you want anyway. And the metro is relatively cheap. So you're not too stuck. Because what they have to realize is you're not going to get a big hotel room ever in Paris, no matter where you go. So that's something to think about. Chris, going to spend 2 months in Europe in 2 weeks. Awesome. Porto, go have the francesinha. It's like bread, ham, like I think burger, cheese, bread, cheese, then this super salty sauce they drown it in. It's so good, but you have to have that when you're there. That's good. Milano, Milan, Innsbruck, Nuremberg, and Berlin and Lisbon. Nice. That's a cool trip. That's a really cool trip. I see that you're going. I guess you're flying in and out of Portugal, so you have that. Then you do the. Yeah, I see. It's plane, train, plane. Yeah, that'd be a good Chris. That'd be a good trip. Keki, when did you first realize you had a traveler's heart? When I went to Australia when I was 16. Before that, I never saw myself really as a traveler or anything. My summer vacations were going from Illinois to Ohio, and that was it, But then once I really got that chance to go abroad, it totally changed everything completely. Would you recommend going to Patagonia during the winter? Their winter or our winter? Our winter, like if you're winter in Northern Hemisphere and going down then is good because that's their summer. That's good for hiking. Winter, you got to be careful because if you're going to go in the mountains, the Alps, the Andes, it's been one day. Annie's. Sometimes the roads can get closed off, so that's a little bit more dangerous, but you can still do some things. I was down there, like if you're going to go to Porto Madryn and go see like the whales, like that was fine. I was down there. What month was that? I was in July. I went there. I think in August I was there, which was winter there in Porto Madryn. It was fine. I could see the whales, the penguins, and everything. So that was cool. Bariloche. If you're going to like Bariloche, then you have the ski people, so you can do that. So it just depends what you want to do. You can do it. You can do it. It's fine. They have it set up for that. It's just easier to go explore more in the summer. But you can do it. No problem. We started the wee hotel by the little cruise ship. So Andrea is heading to Lisbon, my old stopping grounds. Any recommendations regarding restaurants? So restaurants, okay, so you have what's called the Baixa district, which is a low district in town, and you'll go there because that's where the gate is. You see a lot of the pictures and stuff. All the restaurants down there are tourist restaurants. They will be open in the afternoon when most of the restaurants are closed because Portuguese restaurants tend to close from 3 to 7. You want to look for a Tasca, Tasca. That's just like a local mom and pop restaurant. You'll notice that probably 90% of the restaurants have about 90% of the exact same menu. I usually go out and eat and drink and party in the Barrio Alto district, which is right near Baixa, but there's so many districts all around the city we can go eat and enjoy. It's not really, there's not like one restaurant you have to go to. I know that. In terms of day trips, Sintra would be your best one because you go see all the palaces up there. The Palacio Nacional de Pena is the one that looks like it's some kind of Disney castle kind of thing. That's a must see. There's the National Palace that's in the town of Sintra. When you get off the train, you can just walk to, and then there's the Moorish ruined castle you can go to as well. So there's a lot of stuff you can do in Sintra. That makes a good day trip. And if you want to do a tour, you could do the tour, and it'll probably take you like Cabo de Roca, the Cape Rock. You can see that. That's one thing. Another thing you could do is if you go to a lot of people go to like Cascais and Estoril to just take the like local subway train. It's not subway, but the train out there to the end. But that's where the beach. There's beaches out on the way. You can see some stuff there. So there's a few things you can do. You'll be fine. Let's see. Eric B's in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Max says, hey, Mark, would Savannah be a good place if I'm visiting the U.S. for the first time? Yes, it would, because it'll give you a great taste of southern U.S. with the food and the hospitality and the beautiful architecture. I mean, if you're in the southeast of the U.S., the best architecture, culture cities to see, Savannah, Charleston, and New Orleans. Like, those are the best ones. There's other good cities. Don't get me wrong, people. There's other great places to go, but those three are the top ones. And actually, if you go to Savannah, Charleston's like a 2-hour drive from there, so not too far. Alan has a question. Besides the most popular sites, is there another site or experience you would recommend in Rome? I would do a food tour or a market tour when you are there, just because you can get a lot of taste of different food, and you actually can tie next. Like, I don't know if you have any kids, Alan. Your picture's very small, so I can't really tell. If you have kids, there's ones that'll like take you to the markets, and you like go make your own pizza, which can be fun for kids. I'm actually in adults. Whenever I take students when we take students to Rome, we always do that. That's a good time. Another thing I'd recommend is it's called Walks of Italy, and there's a lot of companies to do it, but you get to go into the Vatican museums early, and so you get to go to see the Sistine Chapel without a billion people in there, just a million. But it's still got people, but it's not packed. Those are really good to go on. But I would recommend your tour will go through, the morning tour will go through, and they're like, okay, we're going to finish. We're going to go into St. Peter's. Once you go to St. Peter's Basilica, you can't go back in the museum. So maybe do the tour with them, and then when they're going to leave, you're like, okay, I'm going to stay, and then you can go spend more time in the museums instead of doing St. Peter's. So something to kind of think about. Lewis, appreciate you and your videos have helped me prepare to have great experiences after not traveling since 2017. Thanks. Hey, Lewis, I'm glad we can help. I'm glad we can help everybody out with the traveling. That's one of the things we love to do, and it's nice to know that we're helping people out. So thank you. Oh, Ivy, I'm hiking Grindelwald in a couple weeks. Thanks for all your help. The videos left no room for anxiety and excitement now. That's great. And that's one thing I love to do is like if we can help people feel a little more comfortable. Because that's what I say. I've done a lot of interviews lately, and they're like, what's the one mistake all these travelers? What's the one thing people need to make sure they're doing? And they're expecting like you need to download this app and it's going to change your life. There's no app that will change your life when it comes to travel. That's BS. I say every time it's like, Do the research. Look up what you want to see and do so you feel more comfortable, so you know where you need to go, what you need to eat, where you should be. Because then when you're there, you're more comfortable and you can focus on the moment instead of trying to figure out what should I see next. So, Ivy, I'm really glad. That's awesome. Paul. Hey, Paul. Good to see you, my friend. How is New Orleans in early May regarding humidity, temperature, busyness? It's not too bad. That's actually a pretty good time because there's no spring break stuff. There's no Mardi Gras stuff. There's just enjoying New Orleans stuff. So you should be fine at that time. Thank you very much, Andrea, for all the Andrea. Sorry, Andrea. I don't know. It's a minion, so I'm trying to think what a minion would be. Thank you. I really appreciate y'all sharing that. Let's see. You're welcome, Alan. Your videos made me and my friends feel so comfortable. Just graduated from college, and we went to Mexico by ourselves and love travel. So now we have booked a trip to Las Vegas and Germany. That's awesome. That's so cool. I'm glad you and your friends are doing that. Google Maps changed my life. I can't imagine travel without it or something like it. Okay, well, yeah, map app will help you around, but if you've done your research, you have a rough idea where things. And Mark, I know you did so much research, you didn't even need a map. You just had it in there. But yeah, there are things people do like, but yeah. Okay, so Jerry, we have 4 days next week to take a trip. We're in North Carolina, like to get away from the heat and humidity, so go north. Well, I don't know if the north will get you away from the heat and humidity anymore. We've had some really tough times lately. But if you're okay, so you're in North Carolina and you want to drive. I mean, the easiest drives for a good place to see. Honestly, if you're looking to go, is it next week? Yeah, next week. You have the 10-day forecast now. So I'm going to look this up. Savannah, Georgia, 10-day forecast. So Savannah is the next week. It's high 80s for the high and low 70s for the low. So I don't know if that's hot for you or not. But Savannah, I mean, we drive to Savannah to Raleigh a lot to see friends. We used to be down there a lot. It's probably, I don't know, 8 hours, 7, 8 hours, 6 hours, somewhere in there. It's not that bad. That would be a place I'd recommend. Charleston as well. That's relatively close. Let me see. I mean, you could do the Nashville thing, but these are all kind of normal things. You could go up to like Williamsburg, Virginia, do some of the DC stuff if you wanted to for 4 days. Trying to think of what's right by there. I mean, OBX, Outer Banks is always fun. We're leaving season now. But you have Philadelphia could be one. Philadelphia's actually a good weekend trip. I think it gets undersold. Like there's cities like Philadelphia, Pittsburgh that are actually really cool cities to visit that people kind of overlook. So those all could be ones that could work. Have we ever traveled with Brig? We have gone on road trips with Brig, but we have not. We don't fly with him. He's too big. I would not do that to my dog. It would not be fun for him. And how things are getting lost these days, I wouldn't want Brig to be lost. So Brig usually either we have a doggy daycare he loves. Like I can't say it that loud because he'll probably be outside the door waiting for me to take him, or we have a house sitter that will come stay, and then he just stays with the house sitter. So he has something. Alexander, hey, Walter, when are you and the family coming to Serbia? Here to help you. Anything? Have a nice day. So Serbia is one of those places. Was it summer of 21 when Delta came back and ruined our summer travels? Then we were going to be traveling through that area. Serbia is on the list. That's actually for places people recommend us to go that want us to film that we haven't filmed yet. Serbia is in one of the in the top 5 of places people recommend. So it will be one of the places we do visit. Don't you worry, Alexander. We'll get there, my friend. Tyler, you only got 1 day in Rome? Well, 1 day in Rome, actually, excuse me, fried zucchini flowers, have that, have the carbonara, that's great there. Or calci pepe pasta, that's great. The pizza's great. Gelato's great. Drink the water off the street, like there'll be fountains on the street. You can drink the water there. It's really good. You'll be fine. But if you only have 1 day, I would actually recommend, if you've never been there before, just hop on one of the hop on, hop off buses and go around to see all the sights from outside. Because the going in the Coliseum or the Forum, you're not gonna have the time for that. You can just wait in the line to go into the St. Peter's Basilica, not the museum, but the actual church thing. You might have like a 20-minute wait for the security check. You go through a thing, but otherwise you'll be okay. You could do that, and you can go see Trevi Fountain, throw your coins in. You can go see the Parthenon. You can go in there; that's free. So it could be a walking stuff because there's a lot of stuff you can see just by walking around in Rome. So, but having that bus go around gives you a good feel for it, and then go from there. So, hope that helps. Let's see. Did Jocelyn travel out before? Meaning she did travel. She didn't travel quite as much as I did. And it was funny. She's like, I thought I'd like to travel. Then I met you. So yeah, I probably travel a little bit more. Got her traveling even more. So there's that. My next trip. The next flight I have is to San Antonio, Texas. The flight I have after that is to London. But for those who don't know, I'm a professor in my day job, and the new semester starts in a week or a week and a half, a week and a couple of days. So I have to get everything ready for that because I'm head of some committees and stuff. So I have my day job to do for the next probably month, and then the fun starts again. I had a scratchy throat today for some reason. So, Catherine, planning to go to Thailand, Cambodia, and Indonesia in November. Awesome. So, my first trip to Asia alone. I haven't only traveled to EU alone. Any tips for traveling to Asia? Pack even less. Expect less space, less personal space as well. If you're going to be flying around on the low-cost airlines their seats will be even smaller. And on the trains, less room. That's why I say just pack as light as you can. Eat everything. Even if you don't know what the hell it is, just try it because the food is incredible. And you'll never be able to go back to like a Vietnamese restaurant or a Thai restaurant or a Cambodian restaurant back home in the U.S. or in Europe. After you have it there, you're like, oh, this ain't right. Like I know when I taught in China for a summer and I came back, I could never really eat Chinese food again at any place in the U.S. because I'm like, yeah, that ain't right. It's like having barbecue in Europe. You're like, nah, bro, that ain't barbecue. That's not right. So that's the one thing I'll tell you. You'll be spoiled, but you'll have a great time. I would say if you're ever going to go out on any hikes or anything, make sure you let your hostel or your hotel know where you're going to go when you expect to come back, just in case. I'm not saying bad things are going to happen, but a lot of people like twisted ankles, broken legs on some of these things. It can be there because sometimes the safety precautions aren't as high. Not everywhere. I just want you to be careful, but you have a good time. I have friends that do that. We actually, not the Indonesia part. We had Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam. We had planned for the summer of 2018, and I'm not joking. Like we're going to buy the ticket. It was like Sunday morning or Saturday. We finally finalized what we're going to do. I'm like, all right, we'll buy the tickets on Monday. Okay. Sunday night, we get a call from my host, my Brazilian brother. He lived in my parents' house when I was a kid, and then I lived with his family when I was a little bit older, and so we're very close. And he calls up Sunday. He's like, "Mark, I'm getting married," and he was like almost 40. It's like, "Oh, we have to go. It's Luciano's wedding." So that was when the wedding was when we were supposed to go, and so that screwed everything up. So I did all the research, had all the stuff ready, but yeah, we'll get there. Let's see. What are some must-see traditional German towns and villages in Bavaria you would recommend? I know Bamberg, Rothenburg, Tauber, Würzburg are nice, but do you have any others? Regensburg is also nice, Chris. I like that one. Oberammergau, to see the paintings on the wall. That's nice. There's a few more, but those would be the main ones you should check out for sure. Also, if you're going to be there, if you're going to be like using Munich as a base, you can get over to Salzburg like an hour and a half on the local train. You might as well do it. Actually, the Bayern card will actually get you there. So something for that. Hello there, Darian. Darian knows a lot about Germany, Chris. He can give you some extra tips. Lewis, what's your favorite spot in LA? I don't know. LA really grew on me. Like when I stayed there for a week last year. And the first few days, I'm like, it didn't really. I was like, I don't know. And then after about 4 or 5 days, I'm like, I actually like this place. By the end of my time, I was like, I wish I was staying longer. I don't know. There's something about it that just I'm like I started to understand the vibe people have and why people that live there really like it. Like there's not a certain thing. It's like yeah, it's kind of cool. I think Manhattan Beach is probably my favorite one. So you can get down there. And Richard Matt Nat, ooh, so excited to have a shorts channel now. Thanks. Yeah, I don't know how it is on your channel, Matt Nat, but on mine, when I would put the shorts or the vertical videos, the shorts on our normal Walter's World channel, they would do nothing. I mean, granted, the Walter's World shorts does nothing too, but they would really do nothing. They actually would hurt the other videos. And I know for me personally, I have channels I like to watch their horizontal, long, 15-minute long videos, 20-minute long. I'm used to that. And when it comes to be just like a 20-second clip, I'm like, ugh. So I didn't like that. And then we had so much backlash from our fans on here and fellow travelers that I'm like, all right, we should set up a different channel. So Walter's World Shorts got most of those. Now, occasionally we'll put some on the normal channel, but most of them come on here. Like Walter's World Eats, if it's a short, it's about food, that'll go on Walter's World Eats. If it's a business one, it'll go on Professor Walter's channel. But it's like, it's like, yeah, I'm going to put these on here. And the thing is, like, so if you didn't know, everybody, we're on TikTok and Instagram as well, and it's at Walter's World, and we put all the shorts on there so people can find different ways. So we have it's very different audiences on all the different platforms. It's kind of interesting to see. And I'm sure you all know that. So yeah, the shorts, man, people are very. So we have that. So actually, this channel, we do the shorts. We do our like live walks. So when we're traveling, we're going to put them on here. I think if we have like shorter videos, maybe they're not going to be vertical, but like shorter ones, like we were in Alberobello in Italy, which is this cute town, but it's like, you know, the video for it is like 5 things about Alberobello. That's not really a Walter's World like long form video. I might put some of those on here just to have some other shorter content. So maybe it won't just be shorts, it'll be shorter content. Also, I think in terms of like reviews and stuff, they might come on here instead of the main channel. So lots of different stuff. Eric and Darren know about when we were stuck there. It was like a storm came or something. You all got stuck there with like with hail or something. I can't remember. Let's see. So here's one. Any chance of Japan opening up 100% in the next year? 2023, I could see it happening. I probably would imagine that they will make. So for those who know, you can go to Japan right now, but you have to be escorted. So it means you have to be like on a cruise or a tour or something. So that's something you need to realize. I would imagine, hopefully next year. Hopefully next year. Guys, do you plan on doing any collaboration with other travel YouTubers? So I have actually done a lot. There's actually a playlist somewhere that's with our collabs. Well, what's funny is, whenever I reached out to other travel YouTubers our size or bigger, they never write back. When I write to them a little bit smaller than us, they never write back. The only ones that ever like write back are actually the really smaller YouTubers that want to do things, and I'll reach out to them. Like like if I see a video I like, yeah, that's pretty good, because I'll look at other travel vloggers, and when I see new people come, like, oh, that's kind of cool. Check out their things and watch a few videos. I'm like, oh, that'd be fun. I'm like, how can I help them? And so I might write like, hey, you guys want to do something? And it's amazing. Like some are like, yeah, let's do something, but then they ghost me. Like this one channel, like we had talked a few times, and I'm like, okay, we could do this, and I brought some ideas for them, like this could work, and it was in our Don't series, and I filmed my part and told them with all the stuff I did for them and all this. Just I'm like, hey, if you get me your stuff, sometime be great, and then they just disappeared. I'm like, I've already filmed my parts. Tell you, all you have to do is film your parts and send it to me. I'll edit it all together and be fine. And then you get to be on. We'll put it on my channel so that I can help you. I mean, it's not going to change you. Like that's just one thing people need to realize. Collaborations on other channels. I know a lot of people think YouTube. Oh, you collab. Like you go be on Mr. Beast, you're getting 1 million subs. And not really. You'll get some, but you're not getting a lot. You got to give people a reason to subscribe to you. It's not because Mr. Beast said subscribe. There are those people, but if they don't watch your video, then it makes you look bad. You have a lot of subscribers that don't watch. So you want to be careful with that. But it is amazing how many I've reached out to that either say no or don't even answer. So it's weird. Hi from Austria. How can I convince my wife that a long flight to the USA with a 7-year-old is worth it? Because I'll be honest with you, the US is one of the best places to travel to with kids. Whether you're looking at the food options in terms of every place has a kids menu, so you don't have to worry about overspending on their food, to all the kids destinations from amusement parks to museums having kids specialties. Like here's a 7-year-old, they'll have the scavenger hunts for them. They'll have special. I mean, there'll be special tours for kids you can do. I mean, the U.S. I mean, this is one thing. It's like people give the U.S. a lot of crap about travel, but I'll be honest. If you travel with kids, you can't beat the U.S. You need a place like we need a cot for the kid. They'll find something for you. It's pretty good. So I don't know if that helps, but I hope it can. Nick P's in the house. What's up, Nick? You should write a travel book I'd buy. Yeah, tell Jocelyn that. I've talked to her about that for a long time. I just never have had time. Like we've had the videos and stuff. It's like I can put together the videos, but I got to write it all out and full-time job and all these channels. There's not enough time in the day right now. So I wish there was because I would have had them before. But it's funny if you look at how YouTubers make money and social media people make money, it goes through different cycles. So right now, it's do my course. We have a course on Bright Trip if you want to take it. It's on their subscription option, right? But they have right now. It's the courses. Before it was like you write a book and sell that. Then before like I was talking about the cruises and the set up a trip with your travel fellows. Like there's always those things there. And there's a time when books were really popular. Now they've kind of faded a little bit. They're starting to make a little bit of a comeback now. But it's interesting how that all changed. I like all the content. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So Jeffrey asks, as an American wanting to visit Germany, how important is it to know the language? Are some reasons better for English speaking? So Germany, you're not going to have a problem. Most people learn it in school. Excuse me, but Germans do appreciate it when you try to speak a few words of German. We have a bunch of learning German videos, but I actually just filmed I was in Freiburg a couple months ago, and I just filmed a new basics of German for tourists video. If you want to look, there's one basic Finnish for travelers to Finland that came out. Like it'll give you a rough idea how it's going to be set up. If you know that, you'll be fine. Like, and they'll be impressed. Well, no, they won't tell you they're impressed, but they'll appreciate that you actually knew some words, so you'll be okay. But you don't really have to. And like when you go to the ATM or you want to buy tickets at the kiosk at Deutsche Bahn at the train station, there'll always be an English option there, and their translation's just fine. So you'll be okay. Walter is the popular kid in the school of travel YouTubers. You seem to know everyone and even details about them. Yeah, I do. I actually do, and I'll research them and tell them like what I liked. And it's funny because a lot of them, they're like, I've never heard of you. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry. Actually, there was one that said, I've never heard of you. I'm like, but you talked about me in your videos. So that kind of cracked me up. They were like, who you should watch for travel YouTube. They had us like in their top 3, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny. Small glasses that are really good at installation do not melt the ice fast enough to drink. Let's see. Oh, Tony, I know where'd that go. Tony from. So would love to see something from Lalita Loca. Do something. Yeah. So Tony and I met last year at Vid Summit, and we have talked about doing some stuff together. I'll hop on his live feed occasionally. He's funny. He's funny. He's more risque than I am, but he is funny. He's got some good stuff for cruise people. Tony. And then Gary Benbridge for tips for travelers. Those are my 2 favorite cruise people because they give you the news, they give you the information you want to have, and there's no fluff, there's no extra stuff. They're not necessarily always great for giving you everything about the ship itself. Like actually, no, that's not true because they do make occasional ship review videos. That's not true, but they're very much like if you want to get the most out of your cruise, you should watch them. So Tony and his wife on Lalita Loca. That's great, and Gary Brembridge on Tip for Travelers. So let's see. Countries you plan on visiting you haven't gone to? I know next year the big new ones that we're hoping to get to are Israel, Jordan, Egypt, and Ethiopia. Those are the 4 big ones next year. I know. And then we've got other countries we'll probably go to that'll be new. Because next year, like 2022. Finally getting back to travel internationally, we've been going to see friends. Like I was in Lithuania seeing friends, in Finland and seeing friends, in Italy seeing friends, in Germany. We're going to England to see friends. Like Puerto Rico to see friends stuff. Like it was all been like I miss my friends because most of my friends live abroad, and so it's like I want to go see them. So we've been really doing that a lot this year. Like Jocelyn's going to see a friend of hers in England as well, you know, and it's like I haven't seen them for so long. So this year really was a focus of getting back to our friends. And now that we got to see them again and we can travel again, I'm like, okay, now we need to get back to getting to new places. So next year will be a lot of new destinations for all of us. So that'll be cool. So should I go to Krakow or Budapest on a Prague Vienna trip? So I would probably do the Budapest one because Krakow is not that close. You're going to waste a lot of time going there if you're going to do the train thing. Whereas the Vienna to Budapest train is like 2.5 hours. So I would probably do the Budapest over Krakow. Krakow's great. Krakow's the best city for me as for a traveler in Europe for Poland and one of the top places to go. But just because of the time frame wise, I think you get more bang for your buck with Budapest. And it's a huge city. I mean, it's comparing New York to, well, not New York, but like Chicago to like a medium-sized city or a large town kind of thing. So it's very different. That's that. I have not been to all 50 states. I was finally going to get to one of the ones that aren't on the contingent part, but then Hawaii we couldn't get to because of the COVID thing. So I still need Hawaii, Alaska, Oregon, Utah, and North Dakota. And I'm saving North Dakota for the last one because if our friend Tom Shannon from Pittsburgh, if you go to all 50 states, but the last one you go to is North Dakota, they have like a stamp they'll give you or a sticker they'll give you and a T-shirt, you know, save the best for last. North Dakota, the 50th state I've been to, so I'm going to do that. Yeah, so Mark here says, it seems to me like American museums are just designed for school field trips. I'm looking at you, Field Museum. Yeah. So if you have any natural history museum or science museum is really geared towards the school groups because they come through. That's like a go-to moneymaker for them. So they do tailor for that a lot. But the thing is they build so many programs and you have entire divisions and departments at museums around the U.S. that is just about education for kids, because they know if we don't get kids interested in natural history or in art, there's not going to be anybody donating their millions of dollars later on in life, you know. So you have a lot more kid-based stuff, which makes it. That's one of the things that's great to travel in the U.S. with kids. Eric Zvart, good to see you, my friend. Bobby, I have not been to Alaska. Sorry, there's a cruise company, or actually it's an expedition company that I actually like quite a bit. They do cruises there. I wouldn't mind work. I like them. Like I would work with them. They want me to go to the Galapagos Islands, but I'd rather do their Alaska trip because that's one I really want to do. I mean, I want to go to Galapagos too. Don't get me wrong, but yeah. So there's that. Christmas. I'm not sure the transportation side. I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you. You could always drive out to them, but Lori, know some of the species language, so you are not eating animals you do not wish to eat. Yeah, sometimes when you go to a country you really don't know the language, you're like, I don't know what the hell I'm eating, and sometimes you don't want to know. I will give you this hint. When I was working in China, if you saw Shrek in the restaurant, they served donkey. So, got to be careful. Yes, Catherine, I will be. Don't worry. Everywhere I go, I shoot videos. You don't have to worry about that. I have heard of Minerva University with the traveling around. There's actually some, not just that one, but there's actually some programs in Europe that they have all their syllabi are the same. And so students will spend like a semester in Lisbon, 2 semesters in Milan, then a semester in England, and they get their like master's degree or bachelor's degree or whatever kind of thing. So that's kind of cool. Lewis, do you need a COVID vaccine card for flights? It depends where you're going to go, but more or less no. Some places do require that you actually have it. You just upload it before you go and you're good to go. Sometimes it's just a negative test. In the U.S., for domestic flights, you don't have to show anything. Let's see. So Keith, we were thinking of going to Bucharest in October. I have been there. It's been a long time though. A couple of things I really liked there. The folk museum there was really good, and there is an outdoor museum where they actually had brought churches and buildings from all over Romania to show like the history of Romania into that park. That was really cool. Food wasn't so great. We ended up going up to Brasov and Sigassor and up that way because the Transylvania region, the Siebenbergen or Transylvania region, whichever you would call it, of Romania is a lot prettier and I think is better for tourism. So, do you think travel to Russia will ever be possible again? I was learning Russian before the war started. I wanted to go. Yes, it'll come back when the war is over. The tourists will come back. I'm not gonna say it'll never open again. That's silly. I mean, look at all the places we travel now, and were they always the best places to be? No. So there's that. Have I ever considered traveling to North Korea? I've thought about it, but I have a family. I'm not taking a chance. I wouldn't take a chance. South Korea, I would go to. I had a chance to go there. One of our Israel trips got canceled, so it was like they got canceled like the night before, and they're like, "Well, we can get you on flights to South Korea or Aruba." And this was after I spent probably 13 out of 17 weeks of traveling, and I was toast. And I'm like, what? A 13-hour flight? I had done no research. I mean, this is literally like 10 o'clock at night. And they're like, oh, you can be on this 6 a.m. flight in the morning to go. I'm like, so there's no research, there's no nothing. Like, we have no place to stay. I'm like, I can't deal with it. I'm too tired. No. So we're going to go to Aruba for like 5 or 6 days instead, just to like chill. So, but I would definitely go. Istanbul or Athens? Well, my wife's Greek, so I say Athens. But I think for a tourist, Istanbul has so much. It's just such a bigger city and so much more going on. I probably recommend Istanbul over Athens. However, if traveling wise, I'd probably go with Greece over Turkey. But they're both great in terms of stuff you have to see. People are very friendly. The food's fantastic. Lots of historic stuff in both of them. So you can't really go wrong with either of them, to be honest. So all I know is, so you know how you get like those announcements on your computer from like your Hotmail or your Google Mail or whatever. Somehow my spam filter is not catching anything anymore. So I'm just getting like email notification after email. You have won. Did you know? Mark Wowlers. I'm like, oh man. So I'm seeing all the spam here. So I'm going to be on for a few more minutes. So if you have some more questions, feel free to send them over. But I'm probably going to get off just because it's a lunch hour chat. We're just going to talk for an hour. But I might do some more of these like just lunchtime chats randomly next few weeks just to get some more travel questions. I know people have questions for the fall and maybe for winter travels and stuff. So we'll do some more of these on the Shorts channel for a while. Just these little pop-up ones. Okay, have you ever felt homesick early in a trip? I felt, yeah, I don't know, early, like in a few days, not so much. Like my homesickness is if I travel by myself and I miss my kids and my wife. That's where I get it. But I know I've traveled enough now that I know, like if I take people, like I take my dad or our friends, I know that I have to plan something like home based about the fifth or sixth day. Just because people will be like, as much as they love the pasta and the pizza or the French food, the kids or somebody's going to want something from home. So I like try to find some food or some activity that reminds them of that to help adjust with that. Excuse me. Tips for Germany and surrounding countries. Yeah, we have videos on all of Germany, all the surrounding countries. So just look up the countries and put Walter's World with it. We have plenty of things to help out. Do you ever have your students ask you about travel advice during your office hours? Yes, I do. And actually, I tell my students, if you ever want to travel, come talk to me. I'm glad to help out. Same thing with study abroad or work. I always say my doors are always open. So I will usually put together a few itineraries for summer backpacking every year. Darian, I went to Korea for 2 weeks. The U.S. Army trained for Germany. All I saw was woods and fellow soldiers. So you might have missed out on a few things. So. Is Istanbul good for winter vacation? Yes, it is, but don't think it's going to be hot. Okay, it still gets cool there in the winter too, so don't be thinking, oh, I'm going to go there and beach it. No, it's going to be a little chilly. It'll be cool. Just know that. Thank you, Catherine. Please never stop doing what you're doing. You and your family are angels on earth. Thank you so much. Okay, so here's what Bob asked. Any recommendation for a relatively inexpensive Central America Caribbean vacation this winter? So here's the conundrum, Bob. Is you have places that are affordable to get to, and then you have places that are affordable to stay in. And for Central America, they're not the same. Costa Rica, cheap to get to, expensive to stay in. Nicaragua, cheap to stay in, expensive to get to. So finding that balance. What I actually found was actually Belize gave us a good combination of I could get cheaper flights and I could find some cheaper deals. So that would probably be what I'd recommend. And English is one of the national languages there, so it's easier for the translation stuff. Also, if you want to hop over to Guatemala and you're kind of scared to go to Guatemala, you can actually sign up for tours from Belize to go to Tikal in Guatemala, which honestly probably the coolest Mayan site you can go to. I mean, it's amazing. It's huge. If you're not sure what Tikal is, if you ever watch Star Wars and Yavin 5 or Yavin 4, where they have their base, the rebel base is, that's filmed there. Like where there's like the temples coming out, that's there. You get to climb up those temples and see that. That would be my recommendation, my friend. Chris, would you still recommend carrying on all your bags versus the situation? The situation is improving at European airports, but I would still carry on bags at least through the 1st of September. Adventures of Matt Nett. Wish you would have been our professor. How awesome to help out your students with travel advice and itineraries. Yeah, no, I tried to. I've actually, it's weird. It goes through spurts. There's like a lot of students that want travel help. There's right before COVID, I started getting a lot of students starting YouTube channels. So they would come talk to me, and I help them get started. Actually, we have a few collabs with some of my old students on here. Like one is on the don'ts of hostels. Was with one of my students. He ended up going to Australia, and yeah, he had a pretty successful channel down there. So. Yeah, so it's fun. Would you go to Antarctica? Yes. We're actually waiting until Liam is a little bit older, and then we all want to go down there for that. Coasters for Life, the best theme park you've been to, Cedar Point. Hyper coasters, Giga coasters, whatever you want, they've got the best. It's Coaster City on the coast of Lake Erie in Sandusky, Ohio. We actually went there this summer. I actually filmed Coasters for Life. I actually filmed our don'ts of amusement parks there, which will still need to be put together, but I filmed that at Cedar Point. I will say, if you're looking at amusement parks, the U.S. has the best roller coaster amusement parks. Outside the U.S., England's got some good roller coaster parks, but parks in general, amusement parks in Europe are way more, not just family friendly, but all size, all age, doing stuff together friendly than U.S. parks. That's one thing. You're welcome, Bob. Ugh. Darian, don't insult people with your Go Gators stuff. Ugh. Don't make me ban you, Matt and Nat. Ugh. That's right. Cedar Point is a roller coaster. Went to Cedar Point 2 weeks ago. We might have been there at the same time. Actually, we were there. I guess 2 or 3 weeks ago now. Let's see. Took your advice about not checking in bags. Was out of O'Hare so quickly. Felt like a pro. Yeah, it is. It's so liberating when you just walk out. You don't have to worry about it. That's why because right now I'm debating because my flight to San Antonio, I get in like midnight. So I'm like, well, if my bags are late getting off the thing, it doesn't really matter because it's already midnight. So there's nothing I'm going to be able to do. So I could put my the air tags and all stuff to do the test then. But then I'm thinking, well, I could do it on the way back. So on the way back, it doesn't really matter. But I'm like, on the way back, I fly back and I get in at 10:30 at night. And if I'm going to be driving home, maybe I just want to go home. Maybe I'll just do carry-on the way back and not worry about it. So, yeah, it is. It's a tough one. Nigel Niley. I haven't seen any, if at all, cruise trips on your travel. Does your family not enjoy cruises? I'm not a cruise fan. I won't lie to you. I do have a don'ts of European cruising video. I have a 5 love and hates of European cruising video that I'm editing right now on some of my stuff. It's not, cruises and tours just aren't usually my thing. I like to have more control over my itinerary, and I don't like other people's problems being my problems when I travel, which is one of the big issues you have with cruises. So that's what you can tell. I'm not the hugest fan. That's why I always recommend, like I said, Gary Benbridge for tips for travelers and Tony at Alita Loca. Those are both really good cruise channels. And that's one of the things. It's like we focus on overall travel, But there's some really good niche travel stuff. And if there's really good niche stuff, we don't focus on it as much. Like I do a few cruise videos, I do a few Disney videos, but I'm not going to do a ton of Disney videos because there's a whole industry of Disney people. There's a whole industry of cruise people. So that's why there's that. Matt didn't approve that. He came back. There you go. There you go. I knew Matt was a good guy. Yeah. I used to work at an airline. I learned a lot of don'ts just by seeing the data. Yeah. And that's one thing is like you'll see when you start to travel around, you start realizing some of the mistakes you didn't really think about before. It's like, you're right. I need to have those bigger wheels actually do work better. And if you have a little tiny swivelly wheels and you got cobblestones, they get stuck and broken off. You don't know that until you see it. And you're like, ooh, yeah, I don't want that. So lots of stuff to really look at. So that's cool. Very cool. All right. So we're at our hour. I just wanted to hop on and do a little lunch travel chat. I appreciate you all hopping on. Yeah. So I know on our main, so tomorrow, a little heads up on the main channel, Walter's World, our video will be the don'ts of visiting Switzerland. So that will be coming out on Saturday. And you're looking at how our usual numbers are for subscribers. We probably will hit 900,000 subscribers on our main Walter's World channel Sunday night or Monday at some time. So if you subscribe on our normal channel, I will do a live when we get about 30 away from that and stay on for a couple hours to see if we can get to 900,000 live on there. So we'll have that. But before you go, if you could give a like for this video to help this get out there, because we want to help more people find our shorts channel for the little tip videos. So if you watch those and share, we appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for hopping on. Bye, everybody. I appreciate it. Best and worst airlines you've flown on. Oh, there's a lot of bad ones. There's some good ones, though. So I'll talk about that next time, though, all right? So I wish y'all the best. I'm glad I could help out. Y'all be good. Bye.